So back in December, I happened to find one of the new Holosun 507c X2 with the ACSS Vulcan reticle on the Gun Deals subreddit. This is an optic that I've been watching for a while now. They haven't really been available, and I just happened to see it on the Gun Deals subreddit. So I managed to order it. Long story short, after it was lost in the mail for a few weeks, it finally ended up on my door. I have been hesitant to go the red dot route just because I've used handgun red dots before, and the biggest problem with those is when you come up on target, you can't really find the sights unless you've trained with it for a while. And I didn't really want to pick up something that I wouldn't be able to use or carry with. So when I found the red dot, I just went ahead and ordered it. Now, I didn't have the right slide for it, so I had to order a Brownell's slide for, so this is my Glock 19, this is my carry gun. I had a different slide on it. I had to change the entire way this thing was set up. So I used to have a different light on there, and all of the holsters that were available did not have the option for the light that I previously had, which was a Surefire. So I had to get a different holster. I had to buy a new slide. And then of course, when you buy a red dot, you've got to get sights, iron sights, as a backup that are high enough to co-witness with the front sight. Now, I have a suppressor as well, so I went ahead and just got a threaded barrel. So all in all, this whole setup cost me quite a bit of money, but I think it was worth it. The deciding factor for the Holosun was the fact that it's got a chevron reticle, which, for those of you who don't know, a chevron is just basically an inverted triangle, and it has a 250 MOA circle around that chevron. So what happens is, when you're trying to find the dot, if you can't find it, that circle will appear, and you can adjust your sights based on that circle to find the chevron in the middle. So it's a really innovative solution, and the Holosuns, for those of you who don't know, are very reliable. They're very durable. You can go check out Sage Dynamics YouTube page, and he talks about this extensively and does extensive tests. I'm not doing that with this one. I paid for this one myself. It took forever to get, and you can't find those red dots right now. They're on back order until just about April. But it's a really slick solution, and the reason I wanted to try out a red dot is the last time we went down to Alabama to train with Tiger McKee, we do some long-range shooting with handguns. And for those of you who don't know, when you're doing long-range shooting with handguns, like out to 100 yards or 50 yards, even 50 yards and further, the biggest problem is this front post will cover whatever you're trying to hit. So at 100 yards, that front post will cover a man-sized target, and you just can't see it, so you've got to try to adjust with it. With this red dot, it's very easy to make shots at distance. Very easy, because you basically put the bottom of the chevron on what you're wanting to hit at 100 yards. And we've got some film of that. So for me, it was extremely easy to make those 100-yard shots with a handgun. Now, making 100-yard shots with a handgun isn't exactly practical, but it's a nice skill to have. And to be able to make those long distance shots, a red dot makes that very easy. So I've been very impressed with this red dot. I've put it through its paces. I've fired, I don't know how many hundreds of rounds through it already. It's held at 0. Making shots with it is extremely easy. The dot's really easy to pick up based on the 250 MOA circle that's around it. So coming up on target and quickly finding that chevron is a really easy process. So overall, I've been really happy with this red dot. If you can find them, I would suggest going ahead and picking these up. Red dots are, it looks like it's going to be the way handgun optics are moving. It makes sense with a rifle, and if it makes sense with a rifle for a defensive rifle, then really it makes sense with a handgun. So I would encourage people to check this out. If you're hesitant about a red dot, this Holosun 507c X2 with that ACSS Vulcan reticle is a really nice addition. It's got shake awake, so if it's, you know, sitting somewhere not moving, that dot stays off, and the battery life is exceptional. You can change the battery without taking the dot or taking the sight off of the gun. So unlike a Trijicon RMR, you have to actually take the Trijicon off the gun to change the battery, which means you got to re-zero it when you put it back on. With this, you just slide this tray out, reinsert the battery, and you're done. You don't have to take the sight off of the gun. It's a really nice feature there. Now, if you don't want that 250 MOA circle, you can turn it off. You've got brightness adjustments. It automatically adjusts to start, which is a pretty nice feature in my opinion. And it also has a solar supplement to the battery, so it makes your battery last a very long time. I'm talking this battery with normal use should last you well over a year. Now, for those of you who run red dot optics, you know that you're going to change the battery usually annually. But in my opinion, I think if you can get one, I would really recommend picking one of these up. It's a really innovative piece of equipment, and it makes target acquisition, shots at range very easy.